Open your eyes. Wake up, Link.
Alright, now that the opening cinematic is out of the way, I would like to introduce myself. Hello everyone, my name is Gavin, and welcome to my new YouTube channel, Gavin Plays Games. Today we will be starting our playthrough of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. This playthrough will be primarily intended for people who haven't played the game and would like to experience it for the first time through this YouTube series. Of course, anyone is free to watch. As such, I will be attempting to provide commentary whenever I think it is applicable, and I will attempt to read most of the text in this game, although I'll try to be quiet for cutscenes. But I think that covers everything, so let's get into it.
That is a Sheikah slate. Take it. It will help guide you after your long slumber.
Sheikah Slate, a mysterious tablet with a glowing center. You've never seen this device before, and yet there's something familiar about it. Well-worn trousers. These old trousers are threadbare in spots, but they're surprisingly comfortable. The legs are a bit too short, though. Let's go ahead and equip it. Old shirt. A thin shirt made long ago. It's coming apart at the seams, but it's better than nothing. The sleeves are a bit on the short side.
Hold the Sheikah slate up to the pedestal. That will show you the way.
Authenticating. Sheikah slate confirmed.
Link, you are the light. Our light. That must shine upon Hyrule once again. Now go.
Tree branch. Wooden branches such as this are pretty common, but it's surprisingly well balanced. It doesn't do much damage, but it can serve as a weapon in a pinch. Sorry. Use a weapon. Attack with your equipped weapon. Crouching increases your stealth, making it easier to sneak up on foes and animals. Hylian shroom. A common mushroom found near trees around Hyrule. Eat it to restore half a heart. Bladed rhino beetle. This beetle's razor-sharp horns demand that you handle it with care. Boil the horns alongside monster parts to concoct an elixir that will raise your attack power. Change weapon, you can switch weapons quickly. They're the same weapon, so it doesn't matter right now. Let's go see the old man. But first, apples. Apple, a common fruit found on trees all around Hyrule. Eat it fresh or cook it to increase its effect. Ho ho ho. Well met, stranger. It's rather unusual to see another soul in these parts. Who are you? Me? I'll spare you my life story. I'm just an old fool who has lived here alone for quite some time now. What brings a bright-eyed young man to a place like this? My apologies. What brings a bright-eyed young man like you to a place like this? Where are we? Answering a question with a question. That is fair enough. As I cannot imagine our meeting to be a simple coincidence, I shall tell you. This is the Great Plateau. According to legend, this is the birthplace of the entire kingdom of Hyrule. That temple there, long ago, it was the site of many sacred ceremonies. Ever since the decline of the kingdom 100 years ago, it has sat abandoned in a state of decay. Yet another forgotten entity, a mere ghost of its former self. I shall be here for some time. Please let me know if I may be of service. Baked apple. Direct heat has softened and sweetened this apple. Eat it to restore 3/4 of a heart. I beg your pardon. I do believe that is my baked apple. You can't just go about taking whatever you please. Ho ho ho. Forgive me. I could not resist pulling your leg. Please help yourself. An apple and an open flame make for a succulent treat. Torch. This torch will stay lit once ignited, but if you put it away, the flame will be extinguished until you light it again. Well then, just help yourself to that torch there. And how, may I ask, are you planning to use it? To set things on fire. That is rather unnerving. Please be cautious with that around any dry grass that might catch fire. You know, there are plenty of monsters in this area. A torch would make a good weapon if need be. However, do not just swing it around without purpose. You must face your opponents and lock your sights on them. There we go. We didn't need to do that, but I felt like it. Woodcutter's axe, a woodcutter's tool of choice for felling trees. Its formidable weight and uneven balancing make it a slow, inefficient weapon. However, we are going to use it anyway, because I like it. Summer-winged butterfly, a butterfly found in the woods and plains of warm regions. Its wings absorb the warmth of the sun. Cook it with monster parts to create an elixir that makes you feel warm and fuzzy.
Link. Head for the point marked on the map in your Sheikah slate.
Okay. Bokoblin horn, the severed horn of a bokoblin, a creature often encountered on the plains of Hyrule. It isn't edible, but it can be tossed into a stew with some critters to make an elixir. Alright, so before we fought that enemy, we were stopped by a voice that told us to go to this point. So we began here at the Shrine of Resurrection. Then we met the old man somewhere around here, probably. And now that is our target destination. Before we go over there, I'm going to stop here for something. Seared steak. Raw meat cooked over an open flame. Cooking it has increased its flavor and the number of hearts it provides. Boko Club, a crude bokoblin club made to clobber small prey. It's essentially a stick, so its durability is low. Let's use that. Come here, bozo. So we're going to drop some weapons here to make room for... We're going to drop a stick to make room for the Boko Club. You can see a weapon's attack the bites on the icon. So this Boko Club does 4 damage, while the tree branch only does 2. Also, the tree branch breaks a lot faster than the Boko Club. Hylian trousers, traditional dress trousers of Hyrule. The plush fabric makes these trousers quite comfortable, and their high durability makes them ideal for travelers. We will equip those because they have a higher defense, meaning they have 3 as opposed to 1. So, also they look better. Okay. Oops, I got hit in the crossfire. Seed steak. I won't be reading that every time I pick it up, just the first time. It wouldn't make sense to read the same thing over and over. These guys have bows, so we'll have to be a little careful. Look at him go sliding all the way down the hill. Boko bow. A basic bokoblin bow made of wood. It's made by taking any tree branch and just tying a string to either end, so don't expect much in the way of combat effectiveness. Go and grab the arrows. A common arrow. Its shaft was carved from the wood of a sturdy tree. Bokoblin fang, a tooth obtained from a bokoblin. It's worn down and not very sharp, but it's still pretty hard. Cook it alongside the critter to make an elixir. Oh well, missed him entirely. Let's get out the axe. Boko shield, a bokoblin-made shield created by attaching a handhold to any flat tree bark picked up off the ground. It's pretty shoddy, so don't expect it to last very long. We can only use shield with one-handed weapons. But we've got a sword! Traveler's sword, a very common sword often kept by travelers to fend off small beasts. It's fairly durable, but a bit unreliable against monsters. We'll go ahead and equip that. Place the Sheikah slate in the pedestal. Sheikah Tower activated. Please watch for falling rocks. Distilling local information. Regional map extracted.
You have been asleep for the past 100 years. The beast. When the beast regains its true power, this world will face its end. Now then. You must hurry, Link. Before it's too late.
All right, time to go down the tower. My, it would seem we have quite the enigma here. This tower and others just like it have erupted across the land, one after another. It is almost as though a long dormant power has awoken quite suddenly. If you do not mind me asking, did anything odd occur while you were atop that tower? I heard a voice. Well now, a voice you say? And did you happen to recognize this mysterious voice? No, I did not. I see. Well, that is unfortunate. I assume you caught sight of that atrocity enshrouding the castle. That is Calamity Ganon. 100 years ago, that vile entity brought the kingdom of Hyrule to ruin. It appeared suddenly and destroyed everything in its path. So many innocent lives were lost in its wake. For a century, the very symbol of our kingdom, Hyrule Castle, has managed to contain that evil, but just barely. There it festers, building its strength for the moment it will unleash its blight upon the land once again. It would appear that moment is fast approaching. I must ask you, courageous one, do you intend to make your way to the castle? I do. I had a feeling you would say that. Here, on this isolated plateau, we are surrounded on all sides by steep cliffs with no way down. If you were to try to jump off, well, no death could be more certain or more foolish. Of course, if you had a paraglider like mine, that would be quite another story. A paraglider? Oh ho, piqued your interest, have I? Yes, I didn't come soaring down here on my own feathery wings, you know. Worry not, I will happily agree to give you my paraglider, but not for nothing. Let's see now. How about I trade it for a bit of treasure that slumbers nearby? Come, let me show you something. Do you see that structure there? The one shining with a strange light? It began glowing at the exact moment those towers rose up from the ground. I would think such a place might house some sort of treasure, wouldn't you? Treasure for the paraglider. A fair exchange, I believe. Go on. Fetch me any treasure you find inside that shrine. I'm looking forward to your successful return. But first, we must catch these fishies. All right. Fishies caught. But let's take out these guys too. Oops. takes care of that. Acorn. Often found on the ground near trees, squirrels adore this nut, so you may have competition while foraging. Add one to a meal for a nutty seasoning. Let's cook something while we're here. Simmered fruit. This sweet dish is made by heaping tasty fruits into a pan and simmering until tender. Oman Owl Shrine. Sheikah Slate confirmed. Travel gate registered to map. Access granted. Down the elevator. To you who sets foot in the shrine, I am Oman Owl. In the name of the goddess Halia, I offer this trial. Sheikah Slate authenticated. Distilling room. Rune extracted. Magnesis. Manipulate metallic objects using magnetism. Grab onto metallic objects using the magnet energy that pours forth from the magnesis rune. Objects held in the magnetic snare can be lifted up and moved freely. Ancient screw. A screw used in ancient machinery. It's made of an unknown material, and no matter how many times it's turned, its threads never seem to show any signs of wear. Traveler's bow, a small bow used by travelers for protection. It doesn't do a lot of damage, but it can be used to attack foes from a distance. And we'll equip that too. You have proven to possess the resolve of a true hero. I am Oman Ao, the creator of this trial. I am a humble monk blessed with the sight of Goddess Hylia and dedicated to helping those who seek to defeat Ganon. With your arrival, my duty is now fulfilled. In the name of Goddess Hylia, allow me to bestow this gift upon you. Please accept this spirit orb. Spirit orb, a symbol of courage given to those who have overcome the challenges of a shrine. May the goddess smile upon you. It seems you managed to get your hands on the spirit orb. Well done. How did you know that? Clairvoyance, or perhaps just something similar. As one gets older, it can become more difficult to see what is right before one's own eyes. However, that which was once hidden from view can often be crystal clear. But perhaps that is not true for everyone. Ho ho ho. The appearance of those towers and the awakening of this shrine. It is all connected to that Sheikah slate you carry on your hip there. What do you mean? It has been quite some time since I have seen that Sheikah slate. Long ago, a highly advanced tribe known as the Sheikah inhabited these lands. The great power of their wisdom saved this kingdom time and time again. But their ancient technology disappeared long ago, or so it is said. It is interesting, however, to think how something like that survived all this time, hidden away in a shrine. These shrines are tucked away in numerous places all across this land. And this plateau alone, I believe there are still 3 more. Bring me the treasure from each of those shrines and I will give you my paraglider. That wasn't the deal. Oh, well, I suppose I changed my mind. I'm sure that won't be a problem for a young go-getter like you. Since I'm feeling generous, I will also teach you a trick for finding shrines. It's always best to survey the area by looking around from a high point. Let's see here. How about you make your way to the top of that tower again? Are you joking? Oh ho ho. I'm afraid not, but do not worry. I have another little trick to share with you for your effort. Take a look at the map on your Sheikah slate. See those blue icons? You should recognize the cave where you woke, the shrine you came from, and the tower. You can travel instantly to any of those places with the Sheikah slate. Or so I heard quite some time ago. I do not know if it actually works as such. I'm surprised it took you so long to catch up with an old man like me. How did you... Oh, leave an old man his secrets. Now then, I wanted you to join me up here so you could use this as a vantage point to search for more shrines. Did you know about the scope on your Sheikah slate? Look through it and you can stick a pin anywhere you'd like to mark on the map. The pins on your map serve as reference points for your travels. Just stick a pin anywhere you're interested in. How do you know? Experience, wisdom, instinct, call it what you will and believe it only if you so please. Go ahead and take a look if you feel inclined to do so. Having trouble finding the shrines? No. Oh, if you still wish to acquire the paraglider, you must put in the effort. I will not simply give it away, you see. Alright. I'm going to head over... Where is it? That one first. I'm not going to try to kill this thing, I'm just going to get away from it. Barely made it out of there. To you who sets foot in the shrine, I am Shabaj, In the name of the goddess Hylia, I offer this trial. Sheikah Slate authenticated, the sealing rune. Remote bomb, a bomb that can be detonated remotely. The force of the blast can be used to damage monsters or destroy objects. There are both round and cube bombs to use, so use whichever best fits the situation. Traveler's Claymore, a basic two-handed sword often wielded by aspiring adventurers. Its immense weight can knock enemies' shields right out of their hands. Amber, a fossilized resin with a caramelesque sheen to it. It's been valued as a component in decorations and crafting since ancient times. Your resourcefulness in overcoming this trial speaks to the promise of a hero. In the name of the goddess Hylia, I bestow upon you this spirit orb. A symbol of courage given to those who have overcome the challenges of a shrine. Alright, let's have the next one. coarser bee honey. Honey straight from the hive is chock full of nutrients. Cooking this into a meal unlocks the potential of these nutrients and provides a stamina recovery effect. Stamella shroom, a green mushroom that grows near trees in the forest. It's chock full of natural energy. Took it to release its stamina restoration properties. Robber drumstick. This meat is tougher and chewier than a standard steak. Tastes better cooked. Sunset firefly. These fireflies glow gently in the dark. When cooked with monster parts, the compound that causes it to glow results in an elixir that will allow you to move more quietly. Hightail lizard. A lizard found throughout Hyrule. It's a bit slow to react at times, but if given a chance to escape, it will dart off quickly. Cook it with the monster parts for a speed boosting elixir. Oh well, got away. Hello, old man. Oh ho ho, fancy that, so we meet again. What are you doing? This body of mine isn't what it used to be. Recovering from a bout of hard work takes a while. If you're hungry, I have an empty pot you can use to cook for yourself. I cooked something. Let's take a look at what you cooked up there, shall we? Not bad. Certainly not good, but not bad either. I encourage you to experiment with some different ingredient combinations. The variety of food one can make out here in the wild is quite remarkable. Ho ho ho. Spicy pepper. This pepper is exploding with spice. Cook with it to create dishes that will raise your body temperature and help you withstand the cold. The Old Man's Diary. Read. On this desolate plateau, the only pleasure that brings me comfort is cooking. And today I outdid myself. Truly, I created the perfect dish. I call it spicy meat and seafood fry. This recipe not only restores health, but it also keeps me warm, even when traveling in the snowy mountains. With this dish on my side, I no longer have need of that itchy warm tablet. I do not know how I allowed this to happen, but it seems I forgot to write down a very important recipe. I know it contains raw meat and spicy pepper, however, I simply cannot remember what else I used. My age is catching up to me. Sadly, on this lonely plateau, I have only my knowledge and memory to rely on still. If I did find someone who knew the missing ingredients, I would happily reward them with my warm tablet. However, it seems unlikely that such a miraculous wish will ever be fulfilled. Well, today is your lucky day, old man, because I have just the thing for you. Today, we're gonna make spicy seafood fry. And the missing ingredient is, of course, fish. Spicy meat and seafood fry. Grants a low-level cold resistance, a filling dish made by cooking fresh seafood and meat together. If you're moved by any wild culinary inspirations, feel free to cook yourself a meal using my pot over there. I cooked something. Wait, is that? That looks just like my signature perfect dish, spicy meat and seafood fry. But how did you? Well, I suppose that is not important. Can I trouble you to share the recipe? Ah, of course. Hyrule Bass. How could I have forgotten? Well done. Now please allow me to reward your culinary efforts with this warm doublet. Warm doublet. A warm pullover typically worn by mountain folk. Its sturdy fabric and thick gloves are great at retaining body heat. With that, you will be able to resist the bite of colder environments. As for me, I know a great spicy meat and seafood fry recipe, so I can do without that warm doublet. Alright. Let's go up the mountain. The warm doublet does not have extra defense, unlike the trousers. But the fact that it gives us resistance to cold temperatures is more than enough of a reason to equip it. Also, it's a nice shade of blue. Boko spear, a spear haphazardly carved from a large tree branch. It looks like its original intent was for skewering meat and cooking it, but it does have some combat merit as well. Fire arrow. A bundle of 5 fire arrows. Fire arrows break apart on impact, igniting objects in the immediate area, incredibly effective against cold things. Wood, a portable bundle of wood. You can use this to make a campfire if you have something to light it. Up we go. I have to be careful about using my stamina. Jumping consumes a lot of stamina, so it's usually more resource efficient to just slowly climb your way up. But I don't like just slowly climbing my way up because it's slower. Mushroom. A mushroom that can grow almost anywhere but prefers ceilings and sheer cliffs. Cook it before eating to temporarily increase your movement speed. Okay, let's rest here and go back up. Okay, where to next? This is a bit of a longer climb. But we'll get there all the same. Okay, up some more. one final stretch. Oops. Unbelievable! He knocked me right off. Let's see where we end up. I hope it's not at the bottom. We are saved. Get back over here, right? Okay. Bokoblin arm. A skeletal arm that keeps moving even after it's severed from its body. It's kind of gross to strap it to your back, but it'll do in a pinch. It's old and fragile, so it's quick to break. Now what we're really interested in is the Traveler's Spear. A spear used mainly by travelers to fend off wolves and other beasts. It's easy to hold and simple to use. I'm going to start skipping these cutscenes because they're the same every time and they don't provide much. Like this one. There's no sense in watching the full thing. You've already seen it before, so. And I also will not be repeating the same line of dialogue. The only change will be the name of the trial giver. Sheikah slate, authenticated, distilling rune. Stasis, stop the flow of time for an object. Stops an object in time while storing its kinetic energy. The stored energy will act upon the object when the flow of time resumes. Making good use of the stored energy can move even the largest of objects. Traveler's Shield, a sturdy shield loved by many an adventurer. It is made of animal hide and sturdy wood and is best suited to defending against weak monsters or animals. Iron Sledgehammer. This large iron sledgehammer was originally used for mining, but it works reasonably well as a weapon too. And we'll go ahead and skip this. I don't feel like watching it every time. Alright, one more shrine to go. Keese Eyeball, a rare material dropped by a defeated Keese. It's fun to look at, but it doesn't seem to have much use at first glance. But it must be good for something. Keese Wing, the wing of a Keese. It's covered with very short, sharp fur. It's not much use by itself, but you can mix it with critters to make something useful. Opal, a valuable ore that gives off a mesmerizing iridescence similar to the inside of a seashell. It contains the power of water. There are few things in life filled with as much mystery and wonder as the moments before sunrise. Ah, I enjoy gazing out at the world from here. Breathtaking view. This may be the best place to get a full view of the entire plateau. Use your scope to look for shrines. When you locate one, place a pin on your map as a marker. We will have need of that. We've already got one last shrine. I'm gonna switch to another shield for this. Because I want to go shield surfing! Yippee! One of the best things in this game, hands down. Doesn't even do anything. Just wasted 2 fire arrows for nothing. What about the spear? Cryonis trial. Sheikah Slate authenticated distilling rune. Cryonis, create a pillar of ice from a water surface. Builds ice pillars that are very stable. These pillars can be used as stepping stones or as obstacles. Use Cryonis on an ice pillar to break it. Hey bud, how does it feel to be high up? Okay, missed the timing. Do it again. Still missed it. One more try. Dang it, I'm gonna get it, I'm gonna get it. Pitiful. Pitiful. I don't think I've ever done that poorly. Should have read that. Ancient spring. A spring used in ancient machinery. It is light and buoyant enough to float on water, and no matter how many times it's compressed, it never loses tension. Traveler's Spear. With this, you have now acquired all of the spirit orbs from the shrines on this plateau. Oh ho, extraordinary. That means it is finally time. Link, it is finally time for me to tell you everything. But first, imagine an X on your map, with its 4 shrines as the endpoints. Find the spot where those lines intersect. I shall wait for you there. Do you understand? Where 2 lines connecting the shrines with the cross. There I will be waiting. Okay. So if we were to draw the X, it would look something right here. But before we go there, there's something else I must do. A little side thing. Whoops. White choo-choo jelly. A jiggly substance that comes from an ice choo-choo. It's cool to the touch, and squeezing it seems to relieve stress. If struck, it will explode in a cold mist. Keep making that mistake. Ugh. They're hard to deal with anyway. Just running past them this time. Actually. What happens if I shoot it with a fire arrow? Instantly dies. Of course, that's a bad way to spend all of your fire arrows. They're more useful for detonating things like bombs, or for setting things on fire in the distance. Speaking of bombs, that's an effective way of dealing with these. It's an effective way of dealing with a lot of enemies in this game. Yes, hidden behind the waterfall, a secret trove of treasure. A soldier's broadsword, a sword brandished by the soldiers who once protected Hyrule Castle. Its durable blade is well tuned for slaying monsters. And what shall we drop? It would make sense to drop the spear that I'm using. What else is there? Fire arrow times 5. Arrow times 5. And spiked Boko Bow, an upgraded Boko Bow bound with animal bone to boost its durability and firepower. Its craftsmanship is sloppy, but it's light and easy to use. I'll drop a Boko Bow for that. And now, we go to the shrine. Continuing where I left off, I had to briefly pause recording because I ran out of disk space. So that was a little awkward. Sorry about that. Hopefully that won't happen again. You have conquered the shrines and claimed their spirit orbs. I can offer you great power. It appears you have claimed 4 spirit orbs. In exchange for 4 spirit orbs, I will amplify your being. So tell me what it is that you desire. I desire a heart container. You wish for another heart container, yes? I do. I shall grant the power you seek. Heart container. Your life force has been strengthened, increasing your maximum number of hearts by 1. Go and bring peace to Hyrule.
Oh!
The blessing of the goddess Hylia has made you that much more resilient, I see. Here I am. Get up here, quickly.
Well done there, young one. Now then, the time has come to show you who I truly am. I was King Rome Bosphoramos Hyrule. I was the last leader of Hyrule, a kingdom which no longer exists. The Great Calamity was merciless. It devastated everything in its path, lo, a century ago. It was then that my life was taken away from me. And since that time, here I have remained in spirit form. I did not think it wise to overwhelm you while your memory was still fragile. So rather than that, I thought it best to assume a temporary form. Forgive me. I think you are now ready. Ready to hear what happened 100 years ago. To know Calamity Ganon's true form, one must know the story from an age long past. The Demon King was born into this kingdom, but his transformation into malice created the horror you see now. Stories of Ganon were passed from generation to generation in the form of legends and fairy tales. But there was also a prophecy. The signs of a resurrection of Calamity Ganon are clear, and the power to oppose it lies dormant beneath the ground. We decided to heed the prophecy and began excavating large areas of land. It wasn't long before we discovered several ancient relics made by the hands of our distant ancestors. These relics, the divine beasts, were giant machines piloted by warriors. We also found the Guardians, an army of mechanical soldiers who fought autonomously. This coincided with ancient legends, oft repeated throughout our land. We also learned of a princess with a sacred power, and her appointed knight, chosen by the sword that seals the darkness. It was they who sealed Ganon away using the power of these ancient relics. 100 years ago, there was a princess set to inherit a sacred power, and a skilled knight at her side. It was clear that we must follow our ancestors' path. we selected 4 skilled individuals from across Hyrule and tasked them with the duty of piloting the divine beasts. With the princess as their commander, we dubbed these pilots champions, a name that would solidify their unique bond. The princess, her appointed knight, and the rest of the champions were on the brink of sealing away Ganon. But nay. Ganon was cunning, and he responded with a plan beyond our imagining. He appeared from deep below Hyrule Castle, seized control of the Guardians and the Divine Beasts, and turned them against us. The champions lost their lives, those residing in the castle as well. The appointed knight, bravely wounded, collapsed while defending the princess. And thus, the kingdom of Hyrule was devastated absolutely by Calamity Ganon. However, the princess survived to face Ganon alone.
Link, you are our final hope. The fate of Hyrule rests with you.
That princess was my own daughter, my dear Zelda. And the courageous knight who protected her right up to the very end. That knight was none other than you, Link. You fought valiantly when your fate took an unfortunate turn. And then, you were taken to the Shrine of Resurrection. Here you now stand, revitalized 100 years later. The words of guidance you have been hearing since your awakening are from Princess Zelda herself. Even now, as she works to restrain Ganon from within Hyrule Castle, she calls out for your help. However, my daughter's power will soon be exhausted. Once that happens, Ganon will freely regenerate himself, and nothing will stop him from consuming our land. Considering that I could not save my own kingdom, I have no right to ask this of you, Link. I am powerless here. You must save her, my daughter, and do whatever it takes to annihilate Ganon. Somehow, Ganon has maintained control over all 4 divine beasts, as well as those guardians swarming around Hyrule Castle. I believe it would be quite reckless for you to head directly to the castle at this point. I suggest that you make your way east out to one of the villages in the wilderness. Follow the road out to Kakariko Village. There you will find the Elder Impa. She will tell you more about the path that lies ahead. Consult the map on your Sheikah slate for the precise location of Kakariko Village. Make your way past the twin summits of the dueling peaks. From there, follow the road as it proceeds north.
Go on. Here is the paraglider, just as I promised. An item. Paraglider, an item that you received from the king on the Great Plateau. It allows you to sail through the sky. Press X while you're in the air to use it. With that, you should be able to safely fly off the cliffs surrounding this area. And I think that's it. I've told you everything I can. Link, you must save Hyrule. Alright, and that's where I will leave this episode. I don't think it'd be worth to try to attempt a whole new area in a single video. which I will save the next objective for the next recording. But anyway, thank you very much for watching, and have a wonderful day.